Good evening, folks. I'm Andy Spacey, and this is the home of the Renegade Revolution. And welcome to the Renegade Human Project, Lesson 1. I'm making these videos to force me to stay on the edge of my comfort zone. That's what we're doing. Staying the edge of my comfort zone. By me making these videos, I'm putting myself out there to be judged, to be ridiculed, to be trolled, for all those keyboard warriors. Because that's a big fear that most people are scared of, and they stop putting themselves out there because of that judgment. It's a human thing. But there's that saying, ain't there? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Or the names you call yourself do a lot of damage. And through physical training, mental development, and creating an identity that has value and worth to you, combine those two, and that gives you the confidence to step out of your comfort zone and live outside of your comfort zone. I only have one story, and that's my story. I only have one history, and that's my history. Can't be making things up to entertain people. Your story is your CV. I'll tell you how it is. So as an individual, as you are out there telling the world your story, you can only tell them the truth if you want to go anywhere. Hello, those that have joined the live feed. All starts with honesty and truth and value with yourself. And that's why you hear me talk about the book. Humans, we learn wirelessly. We learn from what we see, from what we hear, from what we do, from what we eat. We learn. We take in the environment and we build assumptions on those inputs. And the results that we get from those inputs give us feedback. When you're stepping out of your comfort zone because you have ambition, you have dreams, you have drive, when you know who you are and what you want, you'll stand out, and people will judge you for you being you. But they're going to judge you whatever you do. Whatever you do, you're going to be judged. So by knowing your wants and the value of yourself and the value of what you want, you'll be prepared to do the work. You'll be prepared to do the work. And that makes you stand out. It's that vicious loop, that feedback loop of value, identity, action, feedback. But when you understand yourself, you understand others. And when you understand others, you'll understand yourself. That's how the saying goes. And that's why the book is important, because you start to learn to understand yourself. This is your friend. The whole point of the book is to get you what you want. It's to get you what you want, to know what you want. And it's there to support you. Because when you're standing out, when you're on the edge of your comfort zone, nobody will believe in you. And when you need help, no one's going to save you but you. And that's where this comes in. And that's where my history comes in. Of getting up, of falling, of getting up, of falling, of getting up, falling. I teach how to get back up. That's the value that I bring. I teach you how to get back up. I teach you how to talk to your demons so they do the dirty work. So there are no excuses. That's what I teach. And I use my experience of my life and what I do and the way I think to do that. That's why I make these videos. So you can judge. And it's out there. I've done my bit. Don't cost me nothing to switch the phone on. Go live. Talk to you about how I do things and what I do. Put myself out there. Because you're not here in front of me. You're not here in front of me. And that's where sticks and stones can come in. I can be judged crazy person. Doesn't matter. To be called crazy, or who do you think you are and all this lot online, ain't like standing on the door of a nightclub with people pissed up and sniffed up and not liking you because you're doing a job and they want to hurt you. Yeah. Nobody call stop. When you're standing on that door and you're getting paid to stand on that door and not back down, and you've got all this going on in front of you, if I can face that, then there's no problem facing the camera and talking about what I've actually done and where I've been and how I do it, because there's the evidence to prove it, just like all my other books. Here's my evidence. Here's my evidence. Every handwritten page from somebody who didn't learn to read till they were 29. Full. Every book. Full. Yeah, full. You do the work. And this is the new one. This one is empty. So that's ready. So as soon as I get through these last few pages on this one, there's a new book there. Because what I do is I write one way, then I turn around and I write back the other way. That's why the pages are upside down. This side is upside down to this side. Because I've gone all the way to the back of the book, turned around and come back. Yeah, that's how I mark it. And then I know how busy I've been by what I've done, because I can just go back and see how many pages I've written the day before. So we're now on the 8th, 8th to the 8th for the 26th. So today, 1, 2 and a bit pages I've already written this morning. Yesterday was 1, 2, 2.5 pages yesterday. The day before that was half of one and half one here. So the day before, the 6th for the 8th, was 1 page. But then you can see some days 6 pages, 8 pages. Yeah, evidence, proof. Know who you are, know what you've done, and know the value of that. Because remember when you work for people, right? And I've been a grafter all my life because I didn't learn to read till when I left school. I couldn't read, so I was a grafter. So I had to work with my hands and my body. Yeah. So I learned to be the best I could be, from sweeping up, from working with bricklayers, from working with electricians. We're working with all these different trades where I was just a grunt, a labourer. But I remember an old boy told me once, he says, learn everything you can from the job to the best of you can. So you're doing the best you can at whatever you do. And that's the value that you get from that job. So when you move on, you keep moving on. All these skills that you gain through your life, you put them into your toolbox. And that's how he taught me about my driving license. He says, your driving license is so valuable to you because it means it gets your toolbox of skills of life from one place to another. And that's how you can sell your skills. That's the value of your driving license, so don't lose it. And that's why in all my time I've been driving since I was 18, I only ever had 1 point for speeding, and I'm 53 now. But I give up driving. I mean, I still drive. I drive my dad's van when I need to and that, but I cycle everywhere. But yeah, they're your skills. That's the value that you bring. I'm making these videos because I'm putting myself out there, so I'm organising them stories, how I do it, what I do, so I get it clear in my head because I'm moving forward in everything I do. So by me just speaking to you out there in the internet world, show you what I do, how I do it. As I say, I'm crazy. If you want to do it, do it. If you don't, you don't. But I'll show you what I'm doing because I can watch back these videos and know that I'm putting myself out there. I'm forcing myself to do the work. You know, I stand at my desk all day long, working with AI agents, editing videos, generating documents, speaking to clients around the country and around the world via the internet. And I'm teaching this. I teach this offline to people for real money. But because I need to keep moving forward and pushing myself forward, me making these videos is me pushing myself forward because I'm putting myself out there. And if I don't do it, I'm going to look a right one. But as long as I'm honest with it, as long as I'm honest with yous of what I've done and what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, I ain't got a problem, have I? I ain't got a fucking problem. I share with you what I'm reading. I share to you how I think about what I read. I share with you about what I write and why I write it and what I have written. You know, I got 52 terabytes of footage from over the years. I've got my notes. So I can share with you how many times I've got up and how I got up and what I was facing and what I was doing. So this is from having ideas, from developing projects, investing in projects, going through with those projects, and then having something happen that was out of my control. And then having to deal with that. But that's what I do. That's what we all do in life, yeah? But some projects have got price tags attached to it. And when things go in the opposite direction to what you expected or planned or hoped for them to go into, and it's cost you money to get back up, or energy to get back up, or to whole reshuffle everything, that's what I'm sharing. That's what I'm sharing. I'm only sharing my history with you. I'm sharing with you what I do, how I do it, and why I do it. So it's clear in my head. And I've got somebody to look back to. It's you, Mr. Andy Spacey. I can look back at you making this video, talking to these people out there on the internet. No script, speaking from the heart, with the Inspired Chain t-shirt on from the Mulligan Brothers. Just to get this t-shirt was 6 years. When I was out in Portugal, when I said, when I was going back to England, I was going to go and see the Mulligan Brothers and knock on their door and look them in the eye, just like I do with everyone. And 3 years ago, I came back, had that gig, filming and working on and fighting on a small independent project up in Manchester way. So I went up there, I camped 3 days up in Warrington, near Warrington. And then on the way back to Coventry, I cycled back the long way. I went from Warrington over to Northampton. Took 3 days to get over there, sleeping wild all the way. I got outside the Mulligan Brothers studio and I rang the doorbell. And Luke come to the door, who I didn't know. I only knew Jordan from the videos. And he didn't really like, because I says, I just want to see, just let you know I'm Andy Spacey and I've got a bit of a story to tell, and I've just cycled from Warrington Wild Camping here to just ring your doorbell before I cycle back to Coventry. Anyway, Jordan must have been in the back room or whatever, because he heard me speaking to Luke, and Jordan stuck his head out. And within 5 minutes, I'm sitting inside the Mulligan Brothers studio, wired up, mic'd up, and ranting like a crazy person. Yeah. And before I left, they gave me a t-shirt and a hoodie. So that's why this means something, because of what it took to get it. And by me keeping my word, by waiting those 6 years. So when I came back to England, I went and rang the doorbell of Jordan Mulligan and looked him in the eye and said, "Hello, my name's Andy Spacey. I'm a crazy person and I have a story. But just like all those other people out there who don't get filmed, who don't get recorded, who don't get put out on the internet, there are people out there who have stories of inspiration to tell. Not just celebrities or people with money. Ordinary people have stories of inspiration to tell. And are you one of them people? Do you have a story to tell? Can you inspire people because of what you've done and how you've done it and how you're doing it? If you're one of them people, then you're on my wavelength. So get out there and start sharing that story and start inspiring people and start being the best you can be. Because when you do the work and you look people in the eye and you make sure that you're accountable for your actions, you'll stop BSing yourself, and you'll pull your finger out and you'll face those demons and handle them shadows, and you'll keep moving forward and doing the work, what it takes, because the book tells you to do this and you do that, because you knew what you wanted and you've written it at the back of the book and saying, this is who I am, this is where I am, and this is what I want. And I will do whatever it takes to get what I want. And I will do it every day, all day, with no excuses, with no resources, with nobody helping you, with nobody watching your back. They're the people that win. We're the people that win. Because we get back up and we do the work and we hold ourselves accountable. We hold ourselves accountable. Look in the mirror, as David Goggins says, look in the mirror. Don't BS yourself. Know who you are and know what you're not. Know what you're not. And that comes from Jeff Thompson. Know what you're not. It's quite nice, this. Sitting down, looking at the camera. Coffee, got my food here, because I haven't ate yet. It's been 24 hours since I've ate. Started pulling my finger out, making these videos the last few weeks, after being in the shadows for a while, for a long while, because I'm doing the work. I'm doing the work. Because I've got projects that I need elevating. No excuses to learn all the skills so you can do all the jobs you need to do. So that's why 10 years ago I learned how to start filming. I learned to start to edit 10 years ago, because I knew they'd get to a point where I need to be able to edit professionally with Hollywood, with production workflow, and to know the standards. I knew I needed to learn all these other skills, these other techniques like reading and writing and producing documents and hitting deadlines and all that lot, so that I get to a point where I can bring all these elements in together to work on me, on my projects. And I don't need to whinge or moan, I haven't got the money to do this, I ain't got the money to do that, because I've learnt the skills. I don't need to hand it off to somebody else to do. I can do it because I've invested X amount of years learning that one particular skill, just so I can do it at the start. Because let me tell you, I don't want to be editing for 18 hours a day and trying to do this and trying to do that and trying to do that. No. Within the plan, there's a place of hiring. There's a certain point where I have to start hiring people and start delegating these tasks, because I can't do it all on my own. But to do what I'm doing now and what I wanted to do and also to know the tasks that I can hand off. And that come from Gary Vee years ago. He says, know the job well enough. So when you hand it off to somebody else, you know what it takes to do that job. And also you know how long it takes to do that job. So that person doing that job that you've just handed off can't rip you off, can't give you the blag, can't say, oh, because you know how to do it and you know how to do it to the standard you want it. And you do that with all the jobs. And if you ain't got the money to pay people to do it, you learn how to do it. So that removes that blockage out of the way. So in the project, if this is the project and there's 10 different skills to make that one project go from the start to the finish, and you ain't got the money to pay people to bring those skills in, you have to learn how to do them. You have to learn how to do them. And these skills, some can be quick, but some can take absolutely years to master. But the fact is, when you've got those 10 skills and you're not hiring them out to somebody because you ain't got the money, but you can do it, boom, you can bring that project to market. And that's what I've been doing. That's why I learned how to edit, learn how to film, learn how to write, learn how to build workflows, filing systems, structures, so I can do all the jobs myself, because I know where I want to go, I know where I am, and I write down what I've done, what I need to do, what my fears are, what I need to do to solve those problems. It all goes in the book. So I can get it out of my head and onto a page and then look at it at a desk, whether it's just a small desk, whether I'm at a big desk, or whether I'm sitting outside. The book goes with you everywhere, because this is your second brain. Everybody's talking about Notion and whatever. This is your second brain, analog. And you have an analog and a digital version going along at the same time. But this is your master book. This was the documentation from the other day. So this is work I did 3 days ago. So this document here, The Renegade Human Project by Andrew Spacey. This tells me what the project is, what the Renegade Human Project is, what my standards are. And this is for my own product, my own website, my own business, my apps, my platforms. This is the standard, 8 pages of quality. This is me not BSing myself. The Renegade Human Project. Private mentoring for people who cannot afford drift. A practical partnership for high stake personalities, physically and professionally challenged. These are the points in life where more information is not the answer. You may already know a great deal. You may have worked hard, you might have built a career, led people, carried responsibilities, and learned to make difficult decisions, yet something is not aligned. Your body, your energy, your focus, your habits, your directions, your business, your environment, or ability to execute consistently. Why time matters and money matters, and repeated failures carry a real cost. Vague motivation and generic coaching are not enough. You need clarity. You need an honest assessment. You need a plan that builds it around you in reality, not assumptions alone. And someone who can help you see the next correct action when pressure arrives. That is what the Renegade Human Project is designed to provide. See, I set my own standards. My standards are high because I hold myself to that. Inspire to be changed. Inspire yourself to change. This document's all about YouTube. This is about the algorithm and how the AI algorithm is working. Again, 6 pages, highlighting the problems and the solutions. You're not in control of YouTube. Somebody else is. I can make the best video in the world. Doesn't mean anybody's going to see it. I can make the worst video in the world and Millions and billions can see it. Not in my choice. The only choice I can do with YouTube is set the camera up, press record, and be a crazy person. That's all I can do. I can only be my crazy self. Talk to you what I'm doing, tell you what I'm doing, post it and forget it. Walk off, carry on. And this is my action plan. So this is the action plan to take those two documents. One's the platform, one's the product, me, and this one's the pricing. This is the pricing structure for what I offer. For 53 years of life experience, 28 years teaching as a performance coach, since the age of 9 training as a martial artist, and for many years teaching. For being an entrepreneur before I even left school, not learning to read till I was 29, or starting to read, yeah? Buying and selling. When I was young, I was buying and selling, wheeling and dealing. I had stacks of cash. And I saved it and put it away, saved it and put it away, saved it and put it away. Working on the building sites, going training, but stacking the cash. Buying and selling when I was younger. And when I've earned good money, I've put my money away. And that's how I can survive. I've just survived the pandemic. 2020, 30 years worth of life savings, gone. All those years building, like everybody else. So many people lost their livelihoods and their businesses and lost money, yeah? That's what happened. And now I'm back up, picking myself back up, doing the work. I came back to England, and within a few weeks of coming back, I actually ordered and bought my 6K camera rig. 3 years ago, I waited 7 years before I bought my professional 6K camera rig. And then a few months into it, this house got randomly broke into, the first time ever. And one of the things that they stole was my camera gear. So after 9 months of fighting to get the insurance on house insurance, I didn't buy a camera because that was the last of my money. When I bought my camera gear, that was the last of my money. That was me doubling down on me having the skills to be able to film and edit and produce. And I bought the rig. The missing piece after 7 years. Well, I never replaced it because I had no money to. The money I got was the money I was going to have to live off. And that's the money I've been living off for the last 3 years. Because I sleep on the floor. I eat 1 or 2 bowls a day. Here's my food waiting for me. Yeah. I eat 1 or 2 bowls of food a day. That's it. I sleep on the floor. I cycle everywhere. I get up and I'm at my desk. And if I run out of money before I get generated income, because that's what it is like. So if the money goes out quicker than it comes in, it's game over, isn't it? Well, I know what it's like to cut right back. Remember, I lived in a garage for 8 years with no hot water and no heating, and I turned that into the home of the Renegade Revolution. A garage. Got the footage. Go on my Facebook. Look at the first video here all those years ago, the very first video in the garage. I'm proud of who I am because I've fucking done the work. I've done the work. And that's why I'm making these videos. To prove I'm doing the work. Because not everybody out there is out there, are they? Now you've got your faceless YouTubes. Hey, they make money. You know, there's so many businesses that are making money, which is not what I'm doing. Because I'm doing something different. I'm doing a different path. If it was all about money, I could take many options and generate larger amount of money. But you only have one life. And if you want to go down a path that you truly want, go down that path. And that's one of the noble truths, the eightfold path, etc. Make the right living. Make the right living. I see some people have said hi. I'm not used to seeing the screen. Normally I go to turn around facing the other way, so I just rant and waffle. Got people get 3 thumbs up. That's a new one, ain't it? So what's it say? Bookland 6646. Hi. Scott. Hi. Emily. Hi. I have to get used to that. Just looking. Seeing if anybody does say hi, and then speaking into them, so speaking to you, so that I could get you to ask me questions and I could just answer them. I will get better at this. I will get better at this. That's what it's all about. It's about getting better. It's about getting better. I'll get better at making these live streams. I'll get better at overcoming the problems that I have to face. I'll get better at everything. 1% every day in every subject, every day. Right. Thank you. Thank yourself. Because if you listen to a crazy person and you do what I am doing, just give it a test. Get yourself a book. Don't BS yourself and don't BS others. Ask yourself the hard questions and write them in the book. Write the hard questions in the book and then write the answers you get. Because that's what I'm doing. Take care, folks.